Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Welcome to the Secrets of a Ghostwriter. And let's tap into something today which probably is right up there on the wish list of anyone wanting to write a book. Writing a travel book. Should you do it? No, you shouldn't. I've written two. I'll explain that process in just a second. I think before you begin to write a travel book, you've really got to address more than any other genre this question: how am I going to make it original? You can't just write another travel book saying the Great Barrier Reef is fascinating. The Eiffel Tower twinkled in the night sky. Prague is beautiful. I visited the battlefields of Europe. It has all been done. You've got to find a way to make it different. And as far as I can see, the two routes to success there would be these. It has to be very personal. So if, for example, you were tracking the battlefields of Europe, there's a possibility that your family may have some deep connection with the Second World War, particularly. The other route to success, I think, is, are you funny? If you can make it funny, well, you should be quids in. And I think if you look at a lot of TV shows that do travel documentaries, often there are comedians fronting them, but there's often a tool. Like, for example, I've seen a couple of people going around Australia on a bike. So that's sort of their gimmick, seeing it through the biker's eyes. In 2024, a man called Ross Cook decided to run across Africa, which is pretty crazy in itself, and will, of course, open your mind up to things that you wouldn't see if you were going by plane or train or 4x4. So he's got an angle there. You've got to explore the angle if you're going to write a travel book. Plus, the other thing is that the world is changing at a pace. Now, whether you are a believer of climate change or not, some of these places that you might visit, like the Great Barrier Reef, are subject to constant revision. I visited the Great Barrier Reef in 2008, and I learned an incredible fact, which was that they had begun cataloguing every form of life there, I think sometime in the 70s. And guess what? They hadn't finished. So the Great Barrier Reef per se is an evolving project, and the threats of climate change, if you believe that, are also a challenge. There is a reality, though, I think, which is that stuff becomes out of date very, very quickly once you've written it down. And of course, by the time your book comes out, it may well be a year after you've made that trip. So you've got to look at either an exceptional concept running across Africa or a completely different way of doing it. Otherwise, your book will get lost in the crowd. Now, this is an absolutely aspirational genre for people to write in. Of course it is. In theory, being paid to see the world. And people are still publishing books every single day about places that you know and love, and you probably don't even need a book for. Here's a really, really good angle, which I adopted and I borrowed, and it's still really unused, but I think it is a winner. In 1987, I traveled to Peru in South America. My dad was remarried to a Peruvian. Now, Peru is an incredible tourist destination. It has certain restrictions. The lost city of the Incas, Machu Picchu, puts a ceiling on the number of people that can go there every single day. It's also, from the UK, a really tough place to go to. For much of my lifetime, there have been no direct flights to get there. And sometimes places that are harder to get to make them more aspirational. When I turned up at Machu Picchu in 1987, I can tell you the train station was a shed. You got a bus up to the lost city of the Incas, and there are about 20 people there. Now, if you turn up at Aguas Calientes, which is the base camp, if you like, for Machu Picchu, the train station is like Grand Central, and the town is just like a town. It has character, but it's lost character. Now, I can recall sitting up at one of the Inca gates at Machu Picchu in 1987, and my dad said to me, there's a book about this. A New Zealand couple came here by train. He wrote the left-hand page, and she wrote the right-hand page. My dad couldn't give me any more information on this, let alone a title, and I can't find the book to this day. When I went to Australia in 2008, I took this on board and decided to write 2 books which were the same story. So I wrote Horns Down Under Part 1, which was my family's account of a trip from Darwin to Adelaide in a camper van. And then I ghost wrote my now ex-wife's version of the same story. And I think that's quite a unique, it's not quite left-hand page, right-hand page, but the concept is there. And there may well be other books out there like this, but most trips are taken with other people. And I think that that's slightly untapped into that concept that you could write together in a book. I think it's a unique angle. So if you're considering writing a travel book, then that might be a path you want to go down. It is a crowded market, though, so good luck. And I'll see you next time when The Secrets of a Ghostwriter continues.